Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jace Horror Stories. Today, we are doing something a little bit different. Instead of reading horror stories, we are going to look at real life locations which are supposedly haunted. Our first location is the Hoia Baciu Forest of Romania. From the moment a military technician captured a photograph of a UFO hovering over the forest in 1968, Hoia Baciu has gained paranormal notoriety around the world, with some believing it is a portal that causes visitors to disappear. Those who have passed through the forest without being zapped into another realm have reported rashes, nausea, and feelings of anxiety. Known as the Bermuda Triangle of Transylvania, the spooky curved trees that populate the forest add to the eerie atmosphere. Aside from strange events, this forest has very odd vegetation. The trees look straight from a sci-fi movie or some kind of dystopian parallel universe. The trees do not grow straight up, but bend and spiral, almost as if they were twisting their limbs to reach out and touch you. Even weirder is that all the trees turn in a clockwise direction. Scientists have been out to the forest to examine the tree growth patterns, but have been unable to figure out why the trees grow in such an erratic fashion. Beside the spiraling trees, the other weird thing about the vegetation of the forest is what is known as the dead zone. One section of the forest, almost a perfect circle, is an area where no vegetation can grow. The soil has been sampled, and it is unknown why nothing grows in this area. Moreover, this dead zone is where quite a bit of paranormal activity has been spotted. When you step into the zone, you are surrounded by the forest, and you feel eerily removed from the rest of Transylvania. One of the legends surrounding the forest is that of a young girl who entered the forest and was lost for many years. Then, supposedly, she emerged from the forest 5 years later, appearing unaged and unable to remember where she'd been. Another story the locals tell is that of a shepherd and his flock of 200 sheep. He entered the forest, and his flock and him were never to be seen again. His sheep and their remains, him and his remains, were never found either. There are also stories of alien sightings in Hoia Baciu. In 1968, when a military technician was out in the forest with his girlfriend and a few friends, it was a sunny August afternoon, and his girlfriend told him she saw something weird. He walked over to where she was standing, and he saw it too. A shining silver disc in the sky. Luckily, he had his camera with him, and before the object bolted away, he was able to capture 4 photos. The 4 of them only saw the UFO for about 2 minutes. But the developed images and pictures live on. The photos were published in local papers, and many people were very skeptical. Some said it was probably a couple weather balloons shot in odd circumstances or odd lighting. Investigators looked into weather balloons, blimps, or anything else that might have been in the sky in the area on that day, but nothing could be found to explain the photos. The photo negatives were also examined to see if they had been altered, but no evidence of tampering could be found. Still, other strange events have occurred in this forest. Many people who walk in for just a quick scare walk out with unexplainable symptoms. People claim that as soon as they walk in, they suffer from severe anxiety and feel like there is somebody watching them. Others walk out with scratches or bruises, having no idea where they came from. Some people believe that the forest is haunted by peasants who were murdered a long time ago. The forest holds a lot of history, as there is evidence of a settlement there dating all the way back to the Neolithic period. Evidence suggests that people originally settled there in 6500 BC, making it the oldest settlement in all of Romania. Who knows how many people lived and died in that area that is now the Hoia Baciu Forest. Ghosts and other sightings of paranormal activity have been spotted here too. Sometimes giggling. Sometimes people hear voices in the forest, giggles of a woman, screams of young girls. People have heard the sounds of deer and horse hooves, even when there was none to be seen. Some see orbs floating near the trees. And when they take photos and look at these photos, faces or orbs that were not seen in person are seen in the photos. Occasionally, people see faces right in front of them with their naked eye. Others see glowing green eyes staring at them from a distance. If you ever visit the forest, do make sure to comment down below the horrors and atrocities that you saw. Our next location is the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel in Canada. Built in 1888 to encourage tourism and sell train tickets, this chateau-style hotel sits pretty by the Rocky Mountains in Banff National Park, but it gets a tad more gothic once you get inside. And I'm not talking about the architecture. Several residents have reported ghosts, including a bride who supposedly fell down the stone staircase during her wedding. But there's a less tragic spirit too. Sam, the bellman, who worked at the hotel until 1975 and claimed he'd come back to haunt the joint. His spirit supposedly works shifts, helping people with their bags before disappearing. It's no secret that this castle in the Rockies has its very own living ghosts, and nor do these ghosts want to be kept a secret. For many years, the creepy ghost stories surrounding the ghost of Fairmont Banff Spring have been rife with not only the staff that work there, but its guests too. Everyone likes a good ghost story, and there are many to be told here. And the center of attention, there's one poor lost soul that can't be missed. That is the swooping bride in full wedding attire and a veil that surrounds her saddened face. In the 1920s, the young loved-up bride-to-be was staying at the Fairmont Banff Springs and was eagerly awaiting to be married to the love of her life. Just a short while before she could say I do, she came to her death on the magnificent main staircase as she started to descend down them. It is unclear if she simply lost her footing, or if the heel of her shoe got tangled in her flowing dress. The fall down the stairs resulted in her sudden death. There are many who report seeing her ghostly apparition in her wedding dress descending the stairs. She's reported to gracefully float in a haze to the bottom and then simply disappear. The dead bride has also been spotted dancing to the soft sound of music, again with her wedding dress and a soft white haze. The ghostly bride has been seen by so many that she's made her claim to fame and has become so popular that she now has a very own stamp and coin so guests can remember her, as if you could ever forget seeing a ghost. And don't forget, there's the ghost of the old bellman. When he was alive, he was the bellman of the hotel from the start of the 1960s until his death in 1975, and was much a respected part of the team as he got along with everyone, staff and guests included. Sam loved nothing more than to help all his guests, and actually vowed that after his death he would return and haunt his place of work. It appears he wasn't lying. The ghost of Sam the bellman is as helpful dead as he was alive. On one occasion, it's reported by two ladies who couldn't unlock the door to their room called for the attention of an on-duty bellman. After he had been and unlocked the door for them, around the corner walked the real bellman. It turned out that the bellman who actually helped the ladies get into their room was in fact the dead bellman Sam. When asked by the real bellman who had helped them unlock the door, the ladies gave a perfect description of the late bellman Sam. His ghostly apparition was so clear that they thought he was real. Sam is also reported to be seen wandering the upper corridors of the hotel, in particular the 7th and 9th floor, and his old office, which is now a guest room, as well as appearing visually to unexpected guests in the hotel. It's thought that Sam opens the doors for guests with his invisible hands. There are many other ghosts to be talked about in this hotel, but we'll leave it there.